The Industrial Revolution changed the world by showing how machines could be designed to do the jobs that were once done by hand. As technology improves, even greater and more impressive devices have been built, and you'll be surprised at how innovative some of them are. With that in mind, in this video, we'll be taking a look at the top 15 most powerful industrial machines. Number 15. Terbium Fiber Laser. Lasers are increasingly being used in manufacturing, whether they be low-powered CO2 devices that can etch marks into metal, or much stronger versions that can cut through some of the strongest materials. One of the most powerful non-military lasers in the world is installed at the Manufacturing Technology Center in Ansty in the UK, and it's an incredible machine. It's a rare earth terbium fiber laser that was custom-made for the facility and can emit a beam that's up to 20 kilowatts in strength. It's mounted to a 6-axis handling robot called the IQ controller, and this is connected to a display panel that shows statistics such as the cutting gas flow, the position of the robot, how powerful the laser currently is, and whether the safety systems are operating correctly. Pieces can be cut that weigh up to 5 tons and are up to 10 feet across, and the laser can pierce through steel that's several inches thick. By pre-programming designs, pieces can be precision cut in ways never before possible, and it's devices like these that open up a whole new realm of manufacturing capabilities. It's hoped that by having access to this laser, the facility will allow British manufacturing to remain competitive with the rest of the world, and will be able to develop new techniques for the assembly, fabrication, and joining of large pieces. Number 14. Big Muskie. Dragline excavators are machines usually used in mining to remove the overburden from the above material that will ultimately be mined. They're particularly useful in coal mining, and the larger they are, the more they can move. The biggest one to have ever been built was called Big Muskie and was created by Bucyrus Erie. Amazingly, it weighed 13,500 tons and was more than 22 stories tall, making it one of the largest moving vehicles on Earth when it was in operation. At 487 feet long, 151 feet wide, and 222 feet tall, it was able to move along the ground with the use of 2 hydraulically driven walker feet. It was fitted with a 220 cubic yard bucket, making it the largest and most powerful single bucket machine ever constructed, and was able to carry a maximum weight of 325 tons at a time. The bucket was so big that it could fit 2 Greyhound buses in it. And the machine itself was so complicated that it took 2 years to build at a cost of around $175 million at today's rates. It would cost tens of thousands of dollars to power Big Muskie for an hour, with it requiring the equivalent energy consumption of 27,000 homes to run. And it only worked on one mine in Ohio for its entire operating life between 1969 and 1991. And in that time it moved more than 608 million cubic yards of overburden, which is twice as much as what had to be moved to build the Panama Canal. This work exposed 22 million tons of coal from the mine, and it kept operating at a cost-effective level for all that time. And it was only decommissioned when new rules on air quality began to reduce the demand and cost of coal around the world, at the same time as energy costs began increasing. Number 13. Wärtsilä RT Flex 96C. Car manufacturers are constantly showing off their latest engines that provide more power than ever before, but none of them come close to the enormity of the most powerful engine to ever be built, the Wärtsilä RT Flex 96C. Built in Finland, this diesel engine was designed to power the Emma Maersk, a cargo ship that carries 11,000 shipping containers and can achieve a top speed of 31 knots, which is a third faster than other ships in its class. To do this, the engine is the most efficient of its kind, and these stats are almost unbelievable. It weighs 2,300 tons, it's 44 feet tall and 90 feet long, which makes it larger than a 4-story building. The 14 cylinders each burn 6.5 ounces of diesel fuel during a single cycle, and this results in an output of more than 107,000 horsepower and more than 7 million newton meters of torque. To put this into perspective, this would be enough to power a small town, and it could tear even the most armored tanks to pieces. It's an incredible feat of engineering, and further ships plan to use them in the future. Compared to other engines, the journey time between China and the US is cut by as much as 4 days, which has a major impact on worldwide trade. Number 12. Gyratory Crusher. Gyratory crushers are used in mines and ore processing plants to break large rocks into smaller, more manageable pieces that can be further ground down to remove the valuable material. They work by opening a gap where the rock falls into, then closing and crushing it, before opening up again so the resulting debris can fall beneath and a new large rock piece can fall in for the process to repeat itself. The technology has been used for decades, but as stronger materials have been developed, gyratory crusher machines have become bigger and bigger. The largest model is called the KB63-130, and 2 of them are currently being installed at the Iron Bridge Mine project in the Pilbara in Western Australia. They're instrumental to the facility being able to produce the estimated 22 million tons of iron magnetite concentrate every year once it's at full capacity, which means many times more weight in rock needs to be processed by the gyratory crushers. It's almost hypnotic watching these machines at work, and the forces required to crush rocks of all types means they're some of the most powerful machines used in any mine. Number 11. Bamer Group Ship Loader. With an estimated 80% of the volume of worldwide trade being carried by sea, the shipping industry is undoubtedly the backbone of the planet's economy. Just a slight improvement in the speed of a ship or turnaround time in port can have a vast impact on profit margins, so companies are constantly looking for ways to increase efficiencies in any way they can. One of the most important parts in the process is a port's ability to load and unload ships. By speeding this up, they can accommodate more ships and send them back out to sea quicker, and one of the ways they do this is by having a powerful and fast ship loading machine. Bamer Group builds one of the widest ranges of these devices and designed them specifically to work with ships of varying sizes and handle virtually any cargo that they carry. By using a modular system of conveyor belts, vertical telescopic tubes, and bulk carriers, they can be adapted for pretty much any purpose. One of their largest installations is at a port in Malaysia where the swivel-mounted ship loader receives bulk material and can load as much as 1,000 tons of material every hour. Number 10. Bagger 293 Bucket Wheel Excavator. Built in 1995, the Bagger 293 is a bucket wheel excavator that still holds the record for being one of the largest and most powerful vehicles on Earth. It's used at a coal mine near Hamburg in Germany, where it's used to cut and remove overburden to expose the deposits beneath. At the front is a huge wheel that continuously cuts away at the topsoil and deposits it on conveyors that transport it to trucks to take it to the disposal sites. Since the mine is one of the most productive ones in the world, vast amounts of earth have to be moved, and the Bagger 293 is ideal for the job. The machine is 738 feet long, 151 feet wide, 314 feet tall, and weighs just over 14,000 tons. It's mounted upon 12 caterpillar tracks that allow it to be moved into position at a speed of up to 30 feet a minute, and it's designed to be in constant operation. The bucket wheel itself is almost 70 feet in diameter and has 18 buckets on it that each can hold 530 cubic feet of material. The excavator is powered by 16 megawatts of externally provided electricity, which is the same consumption of a small town. Incredibly, it can move up to 240,000 tons of material per day, which makes it the most capable earth-moving machine in the world. Number 9. Komatsu Blast Hole Drill. To retrieve the precious rocks that lie in the ground beneath, mining companies have to employ a wide range of techniques. When the veins are close to the surface, an excavator is the best machine, but when it's far deeper, drills are needed to bore holes to give access. One of the most powerful options is a blast hole drill, and recently Komatsu have announced a new range that are more powerful than ever before. The PH77XR has a bit loading of 38 tons and is designed to be able to adapt to different ground conditions. It can be used for rotary tricone drilling or percussive hammer drilling, and also features an auto bit changing system, so there's very little downtime when a bit breaks. The maximum diameter hole it can dig is just under 11 inches, and it can dig up to 55 feet deep in one pass. It's powered by a Cummins QST30 diesel engine, which produces over 1,000 horsepower, and the rotary head itself has 208 horsepower, which enables it to spin at up to 200 rotations per minute at 5,500 pound-feet of torque. Combined with cameras and sensors that monitor every movement and metric of performance as the drill is operating, this is the most powerful, efficient, and effective mining drill in use around the world today. We are constantly adding more people to the Top 5's production team to bring you all the best content. Be sure to subscribe with notifications on and hit the like button. Number 8. Belaz 75710. On building sites and mines, huge amounts of material need to be moved around, and while this is usually done by a fleet of transport vehicles, the work could instead be done by just one. The largest and most powerful haul truck in the world is the Belaz 75710, a record it has held since it was first used in 2005. This monster truck is 67 feet long, 32 feet wide, and 27 feet tall, and weighs 400 tons. It's also powered by two V16 diesel engines, which gives it a maximum speed of 25 miles per hour when its bed is full to capacity. This is no mean feat, because its bed is able to carry a load of up to 500 tons. To do this, each engine produces 2,300 horsepower, but other adaptations have had to be made too. It has, for example, double wheels on each axle and four-wheel drive hydraulic steering. This results in such a bulky design, its turning radius is around 102 feet. The 757-10 is also so large that it's not practical for use on smaller sites, but it's particularly useful on mining sites that cover large areas, where large volumes of material need to be transported significant distances between where it's been dug up and where it needs to go to be processed. Number 7. SLJ 900. Have you ever looked at a bridge and wondered how it's possible to build one so quickly? For projects that need to be completed to tight schedules, it involves a specialized machine called a launching gantry and is used to install pre-constructed blocks. The biggest and most powerful of these is called the SLJ 932, and it was specifically designed in China to assist with the large infrastructure projects that are taking place across the country. It's able to carry, lift, and place different sections of road or railway track, and once it's placed a heavy stone block, it can move forward over the next gap and deposit another one. It then backs up to pick the next block, move forward to put it in place, and continues this for the entire span of the bridge. The SLJ 900 weighs 640 tons, it's almost 300 feet long, and just 23 feet wide. When it's being moved, it's supported by 64 wheels which are arranged into 4 sections of 16. When it's being placed on a track, it has to be supported by a sliding rail and strut. When it's in operation, it can move at 5 miles per hour without a load, and 3 miles an hour when it's carrying the bridge pieces, which it means it can potentially build a 30-mile stretch of bridge in a single day. Number 6. Liebherr 9800 Mining Excavator. The R9800 is Liebherr's top-of-the-range model of mining excavator and can move a huge amount of material in very little time. With a weight of 882 tons, it's 35 feet long and 32 feet tall. It has 2 huge 16-cylinder engines that, in combination, produce 4,000 horsepower, which allows it to tear through the ground. Its bucket has a capacity of 62 yards of material and has a maximum digging power of up to 400,000 foot-pound of force. This means it can make light work of anything it's trying to dig through, and significantly improves the efficiency of the mining operation. What's impressive about this is that it offers a similar digging ability to the much larger bucket excavators, but it's more maneuverable, so is better suited to use at mines that require digging to take place at different places around the site. It's available with a shovel attachment or a backhoe attachment, depending on what it's needed for. And in either configuration, it outperforms all other excavators in its size range. It's commonly seen on mines across Europe and Australia because of its adaptability, and has been credited with significantly increasing the output of the ones where it's used. Number 5. Three Gorges Dam. Built across the Yangtze River near Shanduping in central China, the Three Gorges Dam is the biggest and most powerful hydroelectric gravity dam in the world. Construction was complete in 2006, but it took a further 6 years before everything was working to its full potential. And in 2012, it became the largest power station in the world in terms of its installed capacity, which at the time was 22,000 megawatts. The structure is 594 feet tall, 7,600 feet long, and between 131 and 377 feet wide, while the reservoir it created covers an area of 419 square miles and is 370 miles long. To generate such huge amounts of electricity requires a series of turbines, and in the case of the Three Gorges Dam, there are 32 700-megawatt turbines and 2 50-megawatt ones. As of 2018, its annual generation was 101 terawatt-hours, which makes up around 14% of China's total energy that's provided by hydroelectric dams, despite there being more than 100 in the country. It is an incredible feat of engineering, and apart from the machinery involved in electrical production, several other amazing machines were developed for its operation. To allow ships to pass by, for example, there's a ship elevator that's able to lift weights of up to 3,000 tons between the lower and higher flows of the river. Number 4. The Z-Pulsed Power Facility. The Z-Pulsed Power Facility, which is often simply known as the Z-Machine, is an electromagnetic wave generator at the Sandia National Laboratories in New Mexico. It's the largest machine of its type in the world and is designed to create the most powerful X-rays on Earth, as well as being able to accelerate small objects to high speeds and use them as powerful impactors. While this may sound like a machine predominantly used to study new theories in the world of physics, it actually has far more real-world uses than other large machines like the Large Hadron Collider. It's usually used to test the resilience and strength of different materials and helps manufacturers determine which are best for new devices and products. With the ability to create conditions not found anywhere else on Earth, the machine is used to model the behavior of nuclear weapons and the new designs of nuclear power plants, as well as providing data to help develop brand new energy production methods and ways to improve technologies that are being used already. It's because of the Z-pulsed power facility that new materials have been developed to be used in extreme environments, such as drill bits that can dig deeper or molds that can hold their integrity at higher temperatures. It's facilitated technological progression and know-how far faster than would be possible without it. And following an upgrade in 2007 that increased its power output by 50%, it'll continue providing useful data for decades to come. Number 3. Extrusion press. Metal is used in a variety of different applications in industry, but probably the most important is the main material used to make components that can withstand extreme pressures and heat, and can be used time and time again before needing to be replaced. It's our understanding of metallurgy that allows vehicles, manufacturing machines, and virtually every bit of technology to exist, and components need to be produced in such large quantities that it's not feasible to pour liquid metal into molds by hand. The alternative is a machine called an extrusion press, which pushes material at high pressure into a mold. The benefit of this technique is that you don't need to heat the material up, so it works with brittle substances that would otherwise be difficult to shape. Universal Alloy Corporation is one of the largest aluminum alloy component manufacturers in the world, and to keep up with demand, purchased the largest extrusion press in 2005. The 122-foot-long machine was originally built in Germany during the Second World War to make parts for aircraft, and at a weight of 16,000 tons, had to be completely disassembled before being transported, and then was refurbished before being put back together at the company's facility in Canton, Georgia. With this machine alone, the company has been able to triple their output and reduce the number of faults that occur, which has had a major impact on the availability of the components they produce and the price to the end customer. Number 2. Terex RH400. At a weight of 1,078 tons, the Terex RH400 is the world's largest and most powerful hydraulic shovel. Used for mining, the shovel on its own weighs 80 tons, and it's able to lift weights of up to 85 tons, which means it can fill standard-sized mining trucks in just 3 or 4 scoops. Amazingly, it's able to shift as much as 9,900 tons of material every hour, which is easily a world record for a machine like this. The hydraulic system in the RH400 contains 3,400 gallons of fluid and have several heating units to keep it warm so it can operate in virtually any condition. This also significantly increases its reliability, and most mines will use these 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. As you'd expect from something that can shift so much material, the RH400 is a huge machine, measuring 36 feet long and 28 feet wide. It's powered by two 16-cylinder Cat 351-6B engines, which provide 4,400 horsepower at 1,800 RPM. And this allows the shovel to exert up to 3,300 kilonewtons of force against whatever it's trying to dig into. It's an incredibly effective machine, particularly at large mines where it needs to move from one place to the next throughout the day, and is virtually guaranteed to increase the output of any operation. Number 1. The Taisun Crane. As it's responsible for carrying huge and heavy loads around the world, the shipping industry deals with some of the heaviest machinery and equipment that's used anywhere on Earth. From cargo containers to the components needed to build the largest of vessels, seriously powerful cranes are needed to carefully lift and place these objects into position. The biggest and most powerful crane of all is the Taisun Crane, which is installed at the Raffles shipyard in Yantai, China. The crane was specifically designed and built to place integrated modules onto the hulls of vessels that are under construction, and this meant it needed the ability to lift weights of up to 20,000 tons. Since opening, it's gone on to set the record for the heaviest lift ever performed by a crane when it hoisted a 22,000-ton barge. And it also holds the record for the second and third largest lifts, showing just how much more powerful it is in comparison to its nearest competitor. To be able to do this required complex engineering, however. The crane is 436 feet tall, 393 feet wide, and uses more than 164,000 feet of steel cables, all of which allow it to lift these massive loads to a maximum height of 260 feet. Watch our Machines playlist for more top 15 videos about awesome machines. Sit back, relax, and binge watch all of our best machine videos.